Hello everyone, I'm Jacob Wolowski.
Megan Heineken, Charlene Berlin, Amy Bushnell.
And this is what we did for Design Alaska. So first I'd like to start off with a little bit of table of contents, some things we're going to cover. We're going to go in a little in depth about the history of Design Alaska, who they are, the deliverables that we were asked to do for this project, the project proposal covers, the social media, as well as the local tournament and what we invested in. So first I'd like to dive into a little bit of history. In 1957, Design Alaska was founded by two buddies who had a dream, a civil engineer and a surveyor. They were purchased, when the pipeline was being built, they were purchased by Elevy during the pipeline days, but once that was over, the employees bought it back using credit cards. Since cash and loans were hard to get, they went out and they bought a whole bunch of credit cards, and they bought the company on credit cards. Design Alaska has been in the same spot since its inception, which is really awesome. There's a photo here of the building, an older photo of the building. It's been in business for 60 years, and two of the original owners are still currently working at Design Alaska, which I think is fantastic to hear. Now that we know a little history behind who Design Alaska is, who are they? They are a full-service architecture and engineering and surveying firm located here in Fairbanks. They're dedicated to giving back to the community. Jeff Putnam says that it's a very rewarding experience, as well as a one-stop shop for everything that you need, engineering and surveying-wise. So the deliverables for our client, the proposal cover templates, we were asked to change and make new ones. The social media, we were asked to provide a fresh look, give some directions and possibly some techniques and things they can improve, as well as update on the LinkedIn. And we were asked to provide an updated logo via logo tournament. And we were asked to kind of think about other things in general that the public might not think about. Megan is going to talk about the proposal covers and InDesign.
Thank you, Jacob. Hi, everyone. So my main goal for this was to develop the project proposal covers. Project proposal covers are used by Design Alaska when they are trying to apply for a job for the company. This is their first initial thing that a new company would see of them. They wanted to develop these so that they would fit the client, but also fit their company. So we ran into some minor issues at the beginning of this, which was quite the task, but it was very rewarding at the end. InDesign is the software program that they use for their project proposal covers. This was something I had never heard of before, so it was a steep learning curve for me. I spent a lot of time watching YouTube videos, and thanks to my team, I was able to kind of get through that initial struggle. We also had trouble getting the software onto a computer that was workable, so thanks to the school management, we were able to get a laptop that I was able to use InDesign on. Next, we kind of looked at what they had. These were a couple of the previous covers that they have used over the past 5 years or so that Jeff was kind enough to provide for us. We also looked online to get some more inspiration for a little bit of different ideas. From there, we just messed around with InDesign for a little bit. This was our initial, what can we do with it? And there's a bunch of different stuff that happened, and from there we were able to kind of figure out what worked well and what didn't. We originally had said that we were going to provide 3 project proposal cover templates for them. We ended up with 6 after narrowing that down from about 15. Here are the first 3 that we provided. This one on the far right for you guys is actually one that Jeff said that he would use today if he could, which was just filled my heart with joy for sure, because I worked really hard on them. We ended up with 6, but the 6th one we turned over to the professionals, because that one we went a little wild with, and so Jeff was able to take it to his team and develop it more with their years of experience with InDesign, which was pretty awesome to kind of hand it over to the professionals after we were done. This was a difficult task, but very rewarding in the end, and I hope that Jeff appreciates our end results. Now over to Charlene about social media.
So, for social media, we had to do a little bit of homework, how Design Alaska should use social media. So, as you may know, there are so many different types of social media platforms out there. We thought that Facebook and LinkedIn were the two best platforms to focus on because, one, Facebook and LinkedIn can increase awareness of the brand so the audience will become aware of Design Alaska and what they do in their business. Two, Design Alaska can quickly connect with their target market, the wide audience, and the community of Fairbanks. And three, they have an opportunity to increase traffic on their social media. We have included Instagram, but this is an option for later on in the future once Facebook and LinkedIn are established. First thing we had to do, and this is really important to any company, was we searched both on LinkedIn and Facebook what Design Alaska's competitors are currently doing, how they're doing it, and what Design Alaska can do to utilize social media better. Once we got the idea of what the competitors were doing, as a team we started brainstorming lists of ideas of potential posts to share for Facebook and LinkedIn. After making our own list, we started searching online for more ideas. There was one website that we used was Forbes.com, and it was a really good, very useful website, and it had like 100 post ideas for social media. And one of the things that I really liked the website was that it would list a post idea, and it would say this is good for Facebook, or this post would be good for LinkedIn. And then the other website that we used a lot was LinkedIn.com. It was just focused on LinkedIn, just ideas of blog posts to use. So once we formulated a list, we created A, B, and C content with subject focus for both Facebook and LinkedIn. For A content, this concerns employees, managers with any company-related news. One of the examples would be opening a new office. This section can really help the company what it does inside, and sharing what they can give, and sharing that they can give a sense of who Design Alaska is. For B content, it regards the industry as a whole, just a big picture of who Design Alaska is. And this can include, the post can include new regulations, practices, and/or breakthroughs regarding engineering, surveying, and architecture. And this is my personal favorite for any company. If you want to start your own company, is having a social media is very important. It's good to have C content where it doesn't even involve any company or anything within your company. This includes community involvement, community adventures, company-specific events, and employee involvement in the community. For example, Rotary, Lions Club, and other service programs. For this section, it will help the company as a whole to let the followers know it isn't just about business. They're also human behind the doors, and also can draw people in. So, sorry. For examples that we pulled out as a team, for A content for an example, would be one of my favorite, and this would be really good for any company to do, is what is your only we statement? What makes your company distinct? This is like saying only we, as Design Alaska, we do not only architecture, we also do surveys, we also do engineering. That makes your company so unique that it'll put you to the side on social media. And for content B, what are the latest trends that are emerging in your industry? You can answer that and post it and share it, and it just, yeah. And for content C, I wanted to share time when we, as a team, when we went to Design Alaska, we visited their company, and first thing we walked in, a lady greeted us, and she was very friendly, and she brought us to the conference room. And when we went in, and on the wall there was photos of all veterans on the wall. It was Veterans Day, and it turns out they were celebrating it in their company, and that would be like a really good example for content C to share on Facebook. And the other thing that we learned, that they did a chili cook-off, and while we were going around the departments and talking to each department, we stopped to one department, and there was a layla on the wall, and Amy was wondering why there was a layla on the wall, and then it turns out they had a contest, and that would be one of the things that is important to share, that as a company we take care of our employees, and that's what you should share. And for one of the next slide that I'm going to share you is just an example of how you should use social media on Facebook. It would be under content A, and this is what it is. Just an example, it says, "Congratulations to Charlene Billard on your wonderful presentation." It has 12.1 million likes. No. It's just an example. And then 751 shares. That's just an example of how you should use social media. And on to the logo, Trevor.
Thank you, Shannon. So one of the next things we did was Design Alaska asked us to maybe think of a new logo. They weren't quite ready, and I still don't think they are, to completely go with a really different view of who they are. Since they've had Design Alaska, they've had their nice, simple, clean logo, blue on white. So there's a lot of emotional ties to it. It's really connected to who they are as a company and how they represent themselves. Since this was our homework, we decided to have a little bit more fun with it, and we wanted to make them branch out. Logo Tournament is an online platform that connects people looking for new logos to designers internationally. You set forth a set of parameters, some guidelines, what you want, who you are as a company, color choices. You can be as vague and as detailed as possible, and people will just design. They just give you ideas. They take your name, sometimes they take your logo if they give it to you, and make anything possible. We did 2 sets of tournaments. We did a revised and a new one. In the revised, we gave them a picture of the old Design Alaska logo. We gave them their slogan. We tried to make it as close to their old logo while still branching out a little bit. On this, we got 279 submissions. This logo tournament is also on a specific timeline that you can't really mess around with. So for a week, we met every single day for at least an hour a day through the weekday, like missing class, missing work, on the weekends, giving up time to just go in and go through all of these submissions. You can tell some of them are kind of the same because these photos are from groups of artists as they gave them. Sometimes people would post only one idea, sometimes they would post 15. We were able to go through it and look at how people thought Alaska was. They weren't from Alaska. We got polar bear designs and mountains and igloos and everything, and dark backgrounds and light backgrounds, and this is a lot to sort through. Eventually we got down to 7. This we put into a survey and sent it out through the School of Management, through Facebook, asked friends, got some feedback on, and eventually met with Design Alaska and sat down with some of their key members in the company and asked how do they want to be represented. We ended with this in the revised choice. It looks very similar to their old logo, but it's a little bit more. It shows maybe a little bit more engineering, architectural, just something to add to help you get it right from looking at it. In our new tournament, this is where we said, hey, add a splash of color. We didn't give them the slogan. We didn't give them the old picture. We wanted to see what people would come up with by themselves. This was another 205 submissions. We were dealing with almost 500 submissions by the end of this. We got down to 8 with this. We had a polar bear in one of the designs. It's holding like a D and an A with instruments for engineering that we thought were just really funny. We did not think Design Alaska, a 60-year-old architect firm, would actually like go for this, but we wanted them to see the possibilities out there. There's the northern lights, there's the community aspect, the mountains, and eventually they did choose the northern lights with a skyline that's not your average city, because that's not what Fairbanks is, and also a little bit of home and the northern lights that makes our place so unique. So, back to Jacob.
Thank you. So some things we learned. I think it's really important as a team. We came together, we really did. Not that we wouldn't have, but at the beginning, you know, you're always with your new team. You don't know your friends at the moment. And over the period of time, we really just came together and we learned how to communicate as a team. That meant talking to each other daily, emails after email after email. I've never used my Gmail account so much in my life except for this semester. That was the thing to get used to. How to interact with an actual business. I think it was really interesting to actually show up, meet the designers, meet the engineers, and to have these people take time out of their day to let a couple of college students come in and ask them a bunch of random questions. How to use the InDesign software. From the beginning, it was somewhat of a disaster, but after a little bit of a learning curve, it really helped us understand what these people go through and how they take the time, how they look at things. And from a company perspective, we really got to understand how they choose a logo, who designs it, what they look for, how people will end up thinking about this design, what do they make them feel, and how do people interact with it. So something I think I would like to leave off with for the end is something Jeff said his first day he came in. Be kind, be smart, be relatable. And we as a team wanted to do something a little special for Jeff. So we took everything we've ever done for the process, notes, pictures, emails, photos we took, some questions we had. We took everything we possibly could, and we put it on a School of Management thumb drive, which we'll give to you at the end of class, as just a nice way of bringing everything together and trying to leave a piece of us with you. That way you can go back and look at it later. Questions?